This is the 3 p.m. Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
This is Heartbeat Song by Kelly Clarkson. Welcome to the 3 p.m. Takeover on Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3, the Northern Beaches only drive-home show. It is Wednesday afternoon and we are ready for a really, really great show. Hey, Victoria.
Hello.
So, this week, the Queen turned 90.
I love the Queen.
Which is so old, bless her.
I unashamedly love her.
Isn't she so great? And she's still I was watching her walking around for her birthday celebrations.
I love her little wave.
And she's still so with it and everything. And then did you see the other day the Obamas were visiting?
Too cute. George was in his little dressing gown.
Yeah, in his dressing
gosh.
gown. And Prince Philip drove them and I was like, he's 95. Should he be driving the president? That seems unsafe.
Yeah.
But he did.
But the Queen still drives, doesn't she?
Yeah, but she's not 95.
No, she's 90.
This is who we know now.
My favourite thing that I heard about is that all the people that turned 90 around her that year all had lunch with her. And I was like, that's so cute. It's
that's
a
really
90s
cool.
club.
I've heard of that actually.
So cute.
I think she's always done that every year on her birthday, people that share the same birthday. She'll invite a certain amount each year for a lunch or whatever.
And they're all old. They're
Which is so cool.
old together.
And it's crazy now. She has been queen for 63 years.
She's the longest reigning monarch.
Yeah.
She beat Queen Victoria a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she just took over, which is
only just
so crazy. That's such a long time to be queen.
Yeah. And it's always queens that live the longest. Kings are just knocked out real early, aren't they?
It's always a queen thing.
Queens are made of much sturdier stuff, just saying.
But, so the Queen had her, birthday party. I don't know if you can call it that. Birthday extravaganza, celebration type thing, which went for an hour and a half. There were 900 horses.
Oh, are you saying it went for 90 minutes?
It went for 90 minutes.
Oh, because she's 90.
Yeah. And there were 900 horses and 1,500 participants from the UK and the world that came together.
The UK and the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. She had a park named after her.
Did she?
Yeah, some park that was kind of already there, but now it's named in her honour or something.
Oh,
so
that wouldn't be surprising.
I came across something really cool. Someone made a website of, it's an interactive timeline of her life, and you go in and you type in your age and it will tell you what she was doing at that age.
Wait, what she was doing in the year or when she was the age that you are now?
When she was the age. So I typed in my age 23 and it was...
She was on the throne.
Yeah, she was on the throne. It was right before she had her second child or something. She was pregnant or something.
Oh.
Yeah. She got married at 21 and had 2 kids by the time she was 24.
Wow, is Charles that old now?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I believe
Who
so.
knew? Well, what I thought was really cool about the Queen's birthday is she posed with all her grandchildren, great-grandchildren for all those photos.
And
had
all
those,
her corgis.
Yeah, and all the nice photos with her corgis and stuff. It's such a good time to take photos.
The 4-generation one, Charles, William and George, that one's really cute
really cool.
as well.
I just hope that I live to 90 and I hope I'm doing something great when I'm 90. Probably not being queen, but
Oh, I hope I'm being queen somewhere.
Well, yeah.
Love to rule a country.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm going to Grace Kelly it. I'm just going to rise up and marry Prince and Disney princess it out of here.
I wouldn't mind that, I gotta say.
Well, I feel like it's that old thing where everyone wants to be princess, but if you actually were, it's actually a lot of hard work and...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's not nearly as fun as it would seem in films and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but that doesn't make sense. Where have films ever led us astray? Are they always 100% honest?
I think the thing is when I always used to tell people I would love to be a queen or whatever when I was younger, you forget that it's a 24-hour job. If you're some other famous person, you're an author or a movie star or whatever, there are times when you're not working and you're just being normal with your friends. But that's not the thing. When you're the princess or the queen or something, you don't just invite your mates around to the palace to hang out and have movie night. That's not a thing. At least when you're a famous movie star, you can still do that kind of stuff. You're just never anonymous if you're royal.
It's fame without some of the perks. If you're famous, you get to go on chat shows and go to movie premieres, but you never see the royals doing that.
No, they just
have a certain
they just go to
they have to
garden
upkeep.
Centre openings and charity openings and royal flybys.
There always a charity things.
Yep. Yeah, things where they wave to planes and they go back inside, or they wave to
christening boats. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, christening boats, lots of chopping of ribbons and posing for handshake photos.
Yeah, and
not that exciting.
And shaking people's hands and accepting flowers and then patting babies' heads.
And then never seeing the flowers again and being oh, thank you. And then passing them behind them.
Yeah.
I'll never see them again.
Yeah.
But it was great.
I could do it. I feel like I could do a pretty decent job of it.
I feel like I could too.
I've got my royal wave down pat, as if we all haven't practiced it.
Trying to wave like the Queen kind of gives my hand cramps.
My aunt has
It's
this
really
little
difficult.
this little doll that's solar powered, and it's the Queen. And when you turn on, the little hand waves. It's the cutest thing ever. Whenever we come over, she always like has it on, so when you walk in the kitchen, it like waves at you.
So creepy.
It's really cute. She's in one of her outfits.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
But anyway, the Queen is 90. Good on her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And we will be right back after this. You're listening to the 3 p.m. Takeover.
Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. That was a bit of Clean Bandit with Jess Glynn for Real Love.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
well.
I didn't actually rehearse that. I was like, I rehearsed that. I didn't know. Look, I'm a little bit too excited about this. Something amazing happened on Sunday. I woke up to something. I knew I was going to wake up to it, and I was so happy to wake up to it.
Something amazing happened to me on Sunday too. I woke up remembering that I had another day before the work week.
That too.
That was my thing.
Mine's a little more exciting because it only happens every couple of years.
Oh.
And I've only been present for one previous one, in the sense that Doctor Who has a new companion. And since I started watching the show, I've only been around for the announcement of one new companion.
Oh, I feel like I've been around for like a million.
Oh, like I've been around for them, but like I haven't been invested and therefore excited.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And it's very exciting because I just love the idea of, because it keeps it fresh and throws it all new, and the new person, Pearl Mackie, who's playing a character called Bill, which I think is kind of cool. It's meant to be a throwback to the first Doctor. The actor's name was Bill. It's a really nice
Wait, a girl called Bill?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like Billy and then just shortening it to Bill.
Oh, okay.
We don't know yet. But I'm so excited, and she looks really awesome. But it always gets me thinking, which it does every week with Doctor Who, if you were the companion and the Doctor does the thing where he says, all of time and space, where do you want to go? It always stresses me out because I'm like, I don't know what I'd say.
Because there are so many places that you'd want to go to.
And so many that I'd want to go to, but I know I wouldn't at the same time. Like, I'd be too scared to go and actually see them.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to go back and meet Queen Victoria when she was young.
That'd be
she was
interesting.
so cool and so tough. And I think she'd be so cool to meet.
I'd love to go back to like 12th century Britain, like sort of Arthurian time.
Yeah.
Or I'd go back to...
Just for the dresses?
Yeah. Or I'd go back to like medieval history times, like 1600s to 1800s. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Smelly though.
True. But I'd meet like Shakespeare and Henry VIII then. All sorts of good people.
See, there's some iconic figures that I'm like, would I really want to meet them? Or are they better in like the history retelling of them?
Oh, it's like that TV show Lost in Austen. She goes back in time and like meets the characters from the Jane Austen novels in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And it's like not as great as she expected because she, coming from the 21st century, can see all the flaws in their life and the way they do things, and they end up frustrating her, not being like simplistically idyllic like she imagined.
Yeah. Part of me is like, I'd be so tempted that I want to go to the future, but I also wouldn't. I'd be so scared.
The future?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not really that interested in the future. Does that sound weird? No. I'd much rather like visit things from the past. I love history. I don't really care about
I think it's because you love history.
I'm so not into like anything even like remotely futuristic. I hate everything to do with that like genre.
I love sci-fi, so I'm like,
I hate sci-fi.
Let's go to the future. I'd want to go just like let's go set foot on Mars. Like, you mean?
I'd go to the moon, I think.
Well, people have already been there.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm like interested in.
Or even just like going out to like places in the universe where like humans can't physically go yet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's one of those things, it's like it's too many options.
I would want to sort of land somewhere where like it's possible, but I know that I would never do it. Like, I'd love to land the TARDIS on like the top of Everest or something.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I just met someone last week actually.
That landed the TARDIS on top of Everest?
No, who climbed Everest.
Oh yeah, cool.
Which is always like, blows me away when I meet people that have done things like that, especially things like climbed Everest.
Yeah,
just from a physical perspective, like you can't breathe. Like when you get to a certain height and stuff, it's crazy.
I feel like I can't even be amazed by it because I can't even comprehend it.
Yeah. It's
so
like
I'm not
I can't
even like,
understand it past a certain level.
Yeah.
Even going to base camp is supposed to be like incredibly physically exhausting, and you go through all these tests and stuff even to be able to go there. So I'm like, imagine actually going up.
I got altitude sickness once, so it's probably not a good idea for me to even like look at Everest.
I've never had altitude sickness, but I don't like the sound of it.
I never really gotten seasick, but I think it's what seasickness is like. It's like you get nauseous almost.
Ew.
It's because it's like the air's thinner and you're not getting as much and all that kind of stuff. But let us know on our Facebook page, when or where would you go? Would you go back and like meet your parents when they're kids and like hang out with them?
That's the last thing that came to mind.
And like find out like,
Why not?
yeah, what would you do? Would you like travel really far in the future? Would you go like right back to meet some amazing king or queen? Or would you want to go to some like alternate universe place with like weird monsters and aliens?
Whatever it is, let us know. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. That was U2 with their song Volcano, which is a cool song. Kind of not well known, but. So you sent me kind of an interesting read during the week, which I decided that I would talk about on air because I thought it was really, really cool.
I'm excited.
You sent me a list of 25 things that you don't need to have accomplished by 25, which is funny because
this article made me feel so much better about where my life is at.
A couple of months ago on the show, we spoke about 20 things you were supposed to have mastered by the time you were 20.
Yeah.
And we spoke about like whether we'd done them and that kind of thing. And so now this is sort of like the opposite. So taking a big solo adventure / find yourself trip.
That's fair enough. Because I feel like these days people go straight into uni and then they're like, oh, I'm like almost 25 and I haven't like gone and explored the world yet, but I have like no money because I'm doing a degree.
True. I think like people that take a gap year after school, it's really common to take one of those trips and like find yourself. I've done solo travel, but I don't feel like I've been on a trip where I've been like, oh, I found myself. But I never felt like I needed to go and like find myself.
Yeah. Well, my trip to America, the start of this year, I feel like a lot of it was my first like solo. So like I was flying places by myself, doing public transport everywhere by myself. And I feel like, I don't think I found myself, but I learned a lot about myself.
Oh, that's interesting.
And which I think is much more important because I don't think I need to find who I am yet. I'm 23.
Okay, now this one I don't agree with. Apparently you don't need to have got off your parents' phone plan yet. I think everyone should be off their parents' phone plan at 25. I veto that one.
Yeah, I agree.
This one is true.
Well, you should at least be like, maybe if it's like a really good plan with multiple phones, but you should at least be like paying your own bill.
Yeah, no, that's true. Number 3 is finding your forever job. First of all, I don't believe in a forever job. I think you should change careers. I think that's quite a common thing these days. And you definitely don't need to know what it is at 25.
So you sound angry, but you're agreeing with this article?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sounded very aggressive. I'm like, you're agreeing with the article though.
No, I was saying I don't agree that like that anybody has a forever job.
The like social thing behind it. Yeah, okay.
I don't think that's the thing. Next one up to that is buying your classic last forever items.
Yeah, I agree. I buy really cheap clothes. So
cheap clothes, cheap furniture, cheap food.
Yeah.
You're young.
Exactly. Your body and life and taste is still developing.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine having something that I'd like have forever because like in 5 years I might not like that color anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Next one, living somewhere Instagram worthy. So I take that to mean living somewhere super pretty and color coordinated / organized. Not necessary at 25.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Agree?
I 100% agree with that. I do not expect my first place to be like the nicest place I'll ever live in.
Oh, yeah. That would be a bit worrying. You'd be going like severely downhill if your first apartment is like the best place you ever live in.
I've peaked too early. I can never move.
After that, figuring out what your type is for anything.
I agree with that because like I said, I think your taste for food, colors, people is like changing.
Yeah, everything changes. And like not even that, like fashions change, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Even, you know, fashions change with furniture and colors and all sorts of things. So that's always like a changing thing.
And like a new trend might come around that you love that you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And then you can't be like, oh, it's not grey and grey is my aesthetic, therefore I can't take it up. No.
Grey forever.
Like what you like.
This is true. Finishing your education. That's true. You should always keep educating yourself.
Be a lifelong student. That one.
That one.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've finished my education.
I think like, well, a lot of people
will
go
back to do,
in like a lot of people in their, I don't know, 30s and whatever, go back and do like do a master's degree or, you know, if you do another one, do some professional development.
Because they've been out of uni so long that like they forget how awful uni is. I did not enjoy uni.
Or you get to an age where you have to start competing with the next generation below you.
Oh, okay.
So it's more like that kind of thing. Having an answer about whether or not you want children.
Ooh.
You don't need to decide that by 25.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel
to a degree.
like as a single female, I feel like
as a single female.
Well,
it's a really good entry line.
Well, sometimes people ask me if I want kids and I'm like, not really. And they're like, really? And I'm like, well, I'm single and 23 and I don't really know what I want to do with my life in general, let alone if I want to procreate. Like
that's so true. I think you think about children more if you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Than if you're single.
Yeah. I mean, not that, you know, I might in like 10 years time be like, yeah, I'm going to have like have kids, cool. But at the moment, I'm like, I don't want a kid right now.
Yeah, no, that's
I
true.
have stuff to do.
You don't need to stop using emojis in texts.
100% agree. Emojis for life.
My mum loves emojis.
Yeah, so does
She's
mine.
older than 25.
Yeah. I would hope.
Just thought.
No, I 100% agree. Emojis are so much fun.
I love this next one. Just the word, the wording. Making a lofty fitness goal and succeeding at it.
Lofty.
Lofty. What a great word. I think it's great to have like little goals, but you don't need like a
I think that's what they're saying.
set goal that you need to be
Yeah.
stuck on forever.
Yeah.
How boring.
We're so young. How boring having
this
a
one.
goal for longer than like a year.
You don't need to have a signature dish. I think that's true. I have one, but I don't think you need to have
What's
one.
your signature dish?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Oh.
It's really boring.
I'm sorry, that's a real that's a classic, isn't it?
The next one is you don't need to have a regular doctor.
No, you should have a GP.
Doesn't everyone have a regular doctor?
You should have a GP that knows your medical history.
Last one for us, staying in constant touch with all the important people in your past. Apparently, it's a no-go. You don't need to have to do that.
Well, I remember reading something saying that every cell in your body after 7 years has fully rejuvenated. So technically every 7 years you're a
wow.
new person. So if you haven't seen someone in 7 years, you don't technically have to talk to them because technically you're both different people.
This is true. I think you should try, but I don't think you should feel obliged to.
No, I think
Oh my gosh.
if you want to stay in contact, stay in contact.
I like this list. 25 things you don't need to have done by 25. Good advice.
Welcome back to the 3 p.m. takeover with a little bit of Lily Allen just then. Before that, we had Upside Down by Paloma Faith, and just then was Not Fair by Lily Allen with some random country banjo bits that we were.
Didn't she quit singing and then come back?
She had a baby or something.
But I think she quit and then she was like hosting like a property show in the UK.
What?
Yeah, she had like a total career change because she was like, I'm over singing, I'm rediscovering myself. And then she was like, just kidding, I'm back.
Lol jokes, not real estate.
Yeah.
What a strange change of career.
I'm sure it was something like that. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like it was something.
Well, speaking of careers, it's actually a very convenient segue. Thanks, Lily. So you've just started your first full-time job.
I have.
And we're going to do a little BuzzFeed quiz with you. Look, in the little banner they have, Oprah Winfrey is looking very...
Businessy.
Yeah, and it says, what career should you actually have? So let's just jump straight into it because there's a bunch of questions here. First question, what would you spend your tax refund on? A big screen TV... Sorry, the next one is, how much is a yacht? An exotic vacation, 2 words, Apple Store. Shopping spree, give it to charity. Books, piles of books. A down payment on a Range Rover or invest it.
Well, last year I did use it to buy something technical, so I'll probably say 2 words, Apple Store.
Okay. Next question, pick a trilogy. Back to the Future, the Dark Knight series, The Matrix, Toy Story, Star Wars, and the Star Wars one has a teeny tiny C-3PO. The Godfather, Indiana Jones, The Hunger Games, or Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God, I don't really particularly like any of those films, but
Oh
I'll
my
go
God,
with
what is wrong with you?
I'll go with Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Okay, what would you bring on a desert island? A journal, Kindle, smartphone, iPod, I need my jams, Swiss Army knife, food and water, a grill, it's got a little picture of George Foreman, book of crossword puzzles, or a buddy so I don't get bored.
I'd bring a buddy.
Aww, not food and
I'd bring
water?
you, then we could do our show like remotely.
Aww.
3 p.m. takeover on the road.
Exotic. Okay, who is your dream dinner guest? Steve Jobs, Beyonce, the Dalai Lama, Oscar Wilde,
Dalai Lama.
Oscar Wilde, Maya Rudolph, Stephen Hawking, Jane Goodall, Kanye West, or Michelle Kwan.
Michelle Kwan.
I was going to say you're so going to pick Michelle Kwan, aren't you?
Absolutely. If no one out there knows, Michelle Kwan is like one of America's most famous figure skaters from recent times.
Not Kanye?
Not Kanye.
He's
Wouldn't
not
have
your
him.
dream guest or a world-renowned US figure skater?
No.
Imagine Kanye West doing figure skating.
Oh,
Okay, what best describes you? Bold, observant, creative, badass? 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 Are you a badass, huh? Adventurous, critical thinker, determined, passionate, or loyal? I think you're a badass.
I'm going to go with critical thinker.
Okay. What city should you actually live in?
New York. Is that an option?
It is.
Pick it.
You don't want to hear the other options?
No.
Because Barcelona is one of them.
Barcelona.
Barcelona, LA, Paris, Portland, London, New York, Rio, Cape Town, or Tokyo. I'll pick New York.
New York.
for you. Okay. Pick a magazine. Fast Company, The New Yorker, Vogue, Scientific American.
Definitely.
Definitely you. Sports Illustrated, Reader's Digest, Forbes, National Geographic, or Wired.
Forbes.
Oh, God, you're boring. What do you look for in a workplace? A good challenge, focused mission, organized, interesting coworkers, excitement, job security, attention to detail, risk-taking environment, or flexibility?
Risk-taking. Oh, gosh. No, flexibility, I think.
Pick a genre. Documentary, my dear Watson. Foreign, comedy, lol. God. Indie, drama, sci-fi fantasy, inspiring sports film, action or horror.
Is inspiring sports film a genre?
Turns out.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's like Remember the Titans, all those ones that make you go, football is important.
What was the first one?
Documentary.
Yeah, that one. Well, the rest of them were boring. There was no like romantic comedy in there.
We are so yin and yang. Okay, pick a social media. Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, WordPress. You're going to pick LinkedIn, aren't you?
No.
Instagram, Reddit, Pinterest, Facebook, or Tumblr.
Instagram.
Nice. Insty. Okay. What career should you actually have? You got a writer.
Oh, that's so weird.
Which works for you. Oh, and Tina Fey's the picture for you.
Oh, that's so
nice.
funny because that is my job. Oh, well, looks like I'm in the right career.
Turns out BuzzFeed is accurate.
It is. And what's the other, when I did that quiz like not long ago, a similar quiz, not the same one, it came up with lawyer, which was like the other thing I did at uni. So that's quite funny. On that note, are there any kind of jobs that you obviously like absolutely will not have, but you secretly wish you could have?
Oh, God, yeah. I've always wanted to be, I was talking about this with someone at work the other day, and this is why I know instantly what my answer would be. We're talking about like random dream jobs. So on like Wheel of Fortune when they're like, oh, you could win this ski holiday, and they like a little door opens, there's a lady like pretending to ski, but she's standing still.
Yep.
I always wanted to be that person. And they're like, a new washing machine. There's like stand next to a washing machine and do the like the showgirl hands.
Yeah, similar to that.
I always wanted that. Because initially I wanted the job of like turning over the letters on Wheel of Fortune. And I was like, that's actually probably quite boring. All you do is walk laps back and forth. And the people, they get to dress up. They get to pretend to be like throwing beach balls. And
I've always liked the idea
that's
of like
the life. That's living the dream.
Presenting on Home Shopping Channel. Like those kind of things. Well, I want to be, growing up, my dad thought it was great. My mum discouraged it strongly. I wanted to be a deal or no deal girl.
Oh, really?
And carry the briefcase.
Oh, the briefcase.
Yeah.
With the cool wig. Nice.
Yeah, I wanted to be a deal or no deal
That's
girl.
an awesome dream.
Wouldn't that be such a good dream?
That'd be so much fun.
Such a great job. I always, I was very into planes when I was younger, and I always had this like far off dream that I'd be some kind of like airplane crash investigator type person.
I thought you were going to say hostess. I was not expecting air crash investigators host.
Yeah, no, I really loved anything aeronautical based. I used to go to a lot of museums, and I used to want to work in that area until I got old enough to realize I was not good at science and it was not going to happen. As much as I was interested, my science ability said otherwise.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I know.
Yeah, there are a few jobs that every now and then I come across and I'm like, I could be so good at that, but also not because of all the things you have to be good at to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all go through, like, when you're younger, like, I want to be an actor, so you do an acting course, and you're like, acting is hard.
Yeah.
I am not going to do this.
I quite like, it sounds weird and very niche. I quite like meteorology and, like, atmospheric science. I think it'd be quite cool to be
weather girl,
a meteorologist. But not so much someone, like, presenting the weather, like an actual meteorologist.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I used to know someone who was a meteorologist.
Oh, wow.
And they used to work for, like,
really
a news station, getting all the weather stuff together.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
It'd be good if you could be the meteorologist, but then also read it on air.
Well, that happens. Sometimes they have people who are both.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. That or I'd like to be like the host of like a quiz show.
You know what?
Be fun.
I reckon people listening right now are being like, I'd love to be a radio host.
Well, that's a thing that could happen.
Yes, you would.
Yeah. Yes, you would.
You would like to be a radio host.
You can dream, listeners.
But you'll never be like us. No, you will be.
That like great evil cackle that the queen does in Snow White.
True. I feel like there are some really obscure jobs out there that I would quite like to do. Like, finally talking about the Queen, jobs where you work in the palace. And you do different things there. They were actually recently, people going crazy the palace was advertising for a social media manager for the Queen.
They do have a really good Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you follow them?
Yes.
The British Monarchy. They have a good Instagram feed. I really enjoy following
Someone
them.
has jobs like that.
Yeah.
Or people.
Someone has to. It'd be
There
so
are people
cool.
that are like corgi walkers.
I love corgis. They have the best butts.
Do that?
Oh my God, you have to look up corgi butt. They're so great. Because they waddle while they walk, so their bums like jiggle. So cute. Love it.
Oh, that's so funny.
I would definitely want a corgi to be like my little co-star companion as I like pretended to ski in Wheel of Fortune.
That's true.
And the person who like random like gets out of the car when the person wins the car, they're like, a new car, and there's like walk around the car for no reason. One day I'll get my dream job of doing that, and one day you'll be one of the girls on Deal or No Deal.
True. Another job I've always like, I can't say I've wanted it, but maybe I've watched too many movies, is being like the head of security for someone famous and like smuggling them into cars and like talking on like earpieces. The
eagle has landed. The eagle has landed.
Like being like that. Being the security manager.
I know that's too much stress for me. Having someone's like life in your hands. Like
no, I would.
Oh no, thank you.
I think it'd be really cool.
Thank you. I like to be the person that like like award shows, like the person who like walks them off stage.
Oh, that'd be a good job.
Because they'd be so happy. They'd be in such a good mood. You'd be like, congratulate. You'd be like one of the first people that gets to congratulate them. You get to like hand them the award, and that'd be fun. All you have to do is stand there and smile, and no one's looking at you anyway. So
I always thought the best casual job ever, like when you're a kid, would be to work as an usher. You know, especially like there are kids that work at the Capitol Theatre and the Lyric and stuff as usher, and they see shows for free every day that you pay like over $100 for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would be cool. I wish I'd thought of that when I was a kid.
See, I always thought that for like cinemas.
Like, oh yeah, that too.
But I met someone who like worked at a cinema, and they said no, it's actually bad because you always see the start and end of films before you get a chance to go and see it yourself, because you go in like
it could ruin
end
it
to, like,
for
clean
you
up and stuff.
Oh
yeah, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Maybe not as fun.
Yeah.
I once applied for a job at the cinema. I was rejected.
Oh, ouch.
I know.
And you're still holding that grudge?
I am. Hoyts. My goodness.
I was going to say, do you want a name and shame? You will.
Yes, I do.
You will.
There are only 2 companies it could be.
Well, you know what?
Kidding?
Maybe if you listen to this song, it'll help you get over that grudge with Voice. This is Gonna Get Over You by Sarah Bareilles.
Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. We are at the end of the show now, which is a bit sad.
I love that song.
I love that song too. But in addition to suburb focus.
You're not doing it right. It's suburb focus.
Okay. Well, in addition to that, we are going to be announcing our next special show, which will take place next week, first week of May. So stay tuned for a couple more minutes.
And it is worth it, because if there's one thing I love more than Doctor Who, it may be what our next special's about.
Definitely stay tuned. This is very exciting. Big news. But for Suburb Focus this week, we are moving to Mona Vale.
I like the idea of moving. It's like we buy and sell a house and relocate every week. No.
This week, Mona Vale. Yep. So if we have any Mona Vale listeners, get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you.
Mona Valians?
Mona Valians. Mona Valites.
Oh, Mona Valites. Is that
I don't know what they are.
Huh. Write in. Tell us what you're called.
We'll go from there. So Mona Vale was actually originally called Bongan Bongan.
Why did they change it?
I don't know.
The
Aboriginals called it Bongan Bongan.
That's great. That's way more exciting than Mona Vale.
Bongan Bongan. Well, that's what it was originally known as. Well, it looks like Mona Vale may have been named after Mona Vale in Scotland, which is a place.
Oh, okay.
Because it was Scottish.
We are tripping over our words today.
We are. It was, Scots founded Mona Vale. So that would probably be why. Mona Vale is the epicentre of Pittwater Council, which we are in the area of at the moment with our suburb focus. And I thought this was really cool. So listen to this.
I'm listening.
Between 1849 and 1870, a series of robberies, cattle theft, accidental death and murder was occurring in Mona Vale.
Accidental death and murder?
And murder.
And cattle theft.
And cattle theft.
Do we have reasons why? It was just
just what the thing, that's just like what
the fact is.
It is. And you can actually look it up in history. It's that time period is called the Mona Vale outrages. And that's where the name Mona Vale first started to appear, was around 1858. So during that crazy time when there were lots of murders and
Cattle
robberies
thefts.
and theft and whatever.
Theft of cattle.
that too.
It's very specific. How weird.
I think because it was like there were a lot of pastures and farmland. So the isolation
and grudges eventually, it turns out.
It looks like it.
Murders.
The isolation of the peninsula in the 1800s made it difficult for the law to be like properly policed in the area, I guess. So some of the grants of land were very small while others were very large. So because of that, obviously there was a lot of friction between the residents in Mona Vale or Bongan or whatever it was back in that time. And so there was always a temptation to like trespass on other people's land and steal their cattle and like ruin their livelihood and build up herds and kind of acquire other people's cattle illegally and
murder
them.
Wow.
And horses were also a really valuable commodity in those days and were frequently stolen in the area as well.
Well, that makes sense because for them to be here, they would have had to like come over from England.
That's true. And
so it wouldn't be like, oh, just get another, go catch a horse. No, they had like, if you had them, you had them. And yeah, that makes sense.
And the man who was first granted all of the land at Mona Vale originally, and his family stayed in the area for a very long time. He had 3 sons and all 3 of them were murdered.
Really?
Yeah, during the Mona Vale outrages time.
Oh, that poor family.
Yeah, which is so weird. I totally can't imagine Mona Vale being somewhere where there was lots of robbery and murder, but there you go.
I don't know.
It was like when we found out there were all the pirates and bandits in Cottage Point.
That's true.
So strange.
But you've been to Mona Pub, haven't you?
This is true.
I mean, it's kind of come full circle. No,
the legend lives on at the Mona Vale Hotel.
I can't tell you how often, when I bring my cattle to Mona Pub, how often they get stolen.
They get nicked.
It's ridiculous.
When you tie them up outside the pub.
I mean, you'd think it'd be safe, but no. Every time.
Even these days.
Yep. People just keep trying to... I'm just trying to make a livelihood for myself and make some dairy products. Okay. So, as promised, we are going to reveal to you what our special is for next week. The reason I'm so excited is because the end of the second week of May, a little thing happens over in Europe. You may have heard of it, called Eurovision. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, next week our special is going to be
a Eurovision special.
I'm so excited.
So for all our listeners out there, Eurovision is a pretty special thing. We've watched it together like as long as we've known each other. So we are going to share that with you. And if you didn't like Eurovision, you are sure going to like it now.
Yeah, and we've like...
That's a promise. That's not like a threat. That sounded kind of threatening. It was like a promise. We're going to make you love it if you didn't already.
It's not a threat. It's a fact. And
it's true.
You may think you don't like Eurovision or Eurovision music, but
you're wrong.
Trust, that first of all. But trust, we've hand-selected songs that sound amazing and are like a mixture of the wonderful kitschiness and quirkiness of Eurovision whilst also being actual good songs.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to tune in so that when Eurovision comes around the week after, you can be like, hell yeah, I'm watching this.
Because that's what's good is Eurovision is not as it was in the 70s, but it sort of kept that vibe with like 50% of it. So there are songs in there that are like incredible, and then there are songs that still kind of hold on to that kind of quirky past that made Eurovision popular and made it what it is.
We will discuss in full depth why Eurovision is so amazing. I could talk for literally hours about it and why we love it and our favourite acts. And
we only get 1 hour though. It's going to be jam-packed. So you have to be here next week at 3 p.m. to hear all about it.
Yeah. But right now, we're going to leave you this afternoon. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, until Eurovision next Wednesday. This is Shots by Imagine Dragons.
And
see you next week.
And stay tuned to Radio Northern Beaches to listen to Jeff Williams. He's coming on right after this.